Hi, everybody. Today I want to share with you a prophetic word that I got from the Lord a few weeks back, and I felt Him adding to it. And earlier this week, I released a word talking about the difference between obedience and works, and I really feel like that word goes with this one. So if you haven't watched the previous word that I released about works versus obedience, make sure that you check that out because they go together. So, several weeks ago, I saw a pile of different items, different things, and this was in heaven. And God spoke to me and said that this was the pile of wants. And as I was standing looking at it, the scene just shifted in front of me and there was nothing there anymore. And so I was looking around and I looked down at my feet and there was a small mound and of things. And so I bent down to try to find out what is this and look, closer at it. And when I did that, God spoke to me and said, "This is the pile of needs." And I sat down to try to figure out what the meaning of this was. What the revelation of this was, and God spoke to me then and said, "I want to give my people what they want, but I'm not going to give them what they want until they have what they need." And at first I thought that, as I processed this, at first I thought it was because I thought there was something blocking these wants from being released from heaven, because I could tell that these wants belonged in a storehouse in heaven, that they were the blessings of God that He wanted to pour down on His people. And so I was thinking about what could possibly be blocking it. But as I sat there, God said no to me, "No, they're blocking their own wants. They're blocking their own needs." And as He said that, these words started appearing, different words: deliverance, courage, discipline, praise. And only then did I begin to process what He was saying to me, which is that we all have desires and dreams. We even have rhema words, promises from God Himself about our lives. And yet we haven't seen these things manifest because we aren't doing what we need to do. We want to go to the next prophetic conference when we really need to be going to the next deliverance conference. We want to see a greater mantle, a greater we want to carry a greater metron and influence a greater space, or even to move to the next level in our calling, whether that's in a business setting, with your family, or within a ministry. But we aren't disciplined enough to manage the little that we have. We want our blessings to come to us now, yet our mouths are filled with grumbling instead of praise. And we need to take this seriously, because by not doing what we need to do, we are blocking our own wants, our own blessings coming down. And we are also, it's not just that we're blocking things from coming, it's that we are tainting we are tainting the fruit that we're producing now, with because we don't have what we need. If you think about a tree that's not planted in good soil, it's not growing how it should. Maybe it's lacking the sunshine or the water that it needs. It's not going to produce good fruit. And this is the same thing. So I want to give you a practical example of what this could look like. If you are gathering up all of the knowledge, you have read all of the books, you are reading all of the things that you need to do on how to move forward into this specific area in your life, and yet you're not turning that knowledge into action. You're not putting anything behind it. You need to do something different. You need to hire a life coach or get somebody to mentor you in that area so that you can, join a support group, whatever it takes to move that knowledge into action. If you're wanting to have a healthy family, but you're not willing to set up the boundaries that's necessary, to establish healthy behavior, you're not going to have a healthy family. You're going to keep having the things that you've always been getting. So if you want to start a new business or something like that, but you find a reason not to do it, somebody else is doing it better, you're not sure if it's the right time, there's going to be a million excuses that you can come up with. But ultimately, if you don't take a step to start it, then you're never going to have what you want because you're not willing to do what you need. So the bottom line is that what until what needs to be done is done, then what's wanted won't come. And this past fall, I was on a 40-day water fast, and I felt a lot of movement in the spirit, and it was similar to what I'm feeling right now, which is during that time specifically, I saw a timeline for the rest of 2018, and the amount of months left in 2018 had the same amount of grace, the same amount of momentum and empowerment to complete tasks in 2018 that the rest of 2018 had. So the previous, I don't know what it was, 9 months had the same amount of grace as the last 3 months. And this was important because God was speaking to me about getting into alignment. And because I then saw a semi truck being backed up to be unloaded, but if it wasn't properly aligned, the door couldn't open and none of the stuff inside could be unloaded. So proper alignment, and I'm going to post this whole word that I'm speaking right now on online later so that you can have all of the links and everything and go back and look at the other words. But this again is similar to what I'm feeling during that time when I was seeing that vision, because 2019, God wants to rearrange, realign, release, restore, and rebirth things that can only be done through our cooperation. We must do what we need to do right now so that we can get to where we want to be. All you need to do is to take care of that small pile of needs. In this vision that I was seeing, the wants were so much bigger, the blessings were so much greater than the needs were. And we're not doing it alone. We're not taking care of these small needs by ourselves. But right now, there is such a grace to move forward in whatever thing that you've been pressing into God for, whether that's in ministry or your business, a family situation, whatever it looks like, your finances, anything that you've been seeking the Lord after. There are things that we need to do so that we can have the blessings released, so that we can have the wants come down. And I really feel like God is trying to stir us from this place of complacency that we sometimes just get into, where things are good enough and we're okay with how things are, when there's such a greater level that He wants to release to us. But He's a good Father. He's not going to just give it to us when we can't take care of the things that we have even now. And God still wants His bride to become more and more transformed, and we need to remember that that's the dream of the Lord, that we are partnering with that. So every time we take care of something that we need to do, and every time that results in a greater blessing being poured forth, we are assisting in having that picture come to fruition. So, I just want to end by saying that wisdom, understanding, and the mind of Christ, they're part of that transformation that come to us when we are going through this process of doing the things that we need to do before the things that we want to have come forth come to us. And those are the things that we really need. We truly need the wisdom. We truly need the understanding and the vision of God so that we know how to manage the greater that comes along with this. I'm going to type up this word and I'll have it posted later on so that you can look at the references and go back and read some of the other words. But I really encourage you to press into what it is that you need to do so that what you want to have happen can come forth. All right, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.